Today I'm going to show you how I break up a whole chicken. I exclusively buy my chicken as a whole bird and I break it up into the different pieces because I really like the process of not only breaking up the bird but also working out how to use every single piece so that there is absolutely no waste. If you know me, you know I am all about no waste and using every single thing that's there because it's much more sustainable. Nice clean hands. And I'm going to carefully try to remove the skin. So my bird is looking pretty naked right now. I've pulled off most of the skin and it's here. I'm going to leave it connected to the chicken wings. And so again, you don't have to take the skin off, especially because it's a really good fat. It's really delicious, so you can just leave it on. I will show you the first thing, how to disconnect the wings. So there's like a little joining part, and so that's where I'm going to make my first cut. Careful not to go into the breast. And there you go. And of course, remember I'm keeping it joined to the skin, which is why it looks like that. A trick that I learned while working at a pizza shop, you take the little arm and you tuck it behind, just like that, so that it can lay flat on a tray when you're cooking it in the oven or when you're barbecuing, so that's really amazing. Right here is the sternum of the bird, and you're going to cut along the sternum and carefully pull your chicken breast away from the chicken frame. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually separating the two breasts from each other. So I'm trying to stay as close to the sternum as I can so that I get the most meat. But it's really important when you are butchering a bird that you do what feels comfortable. You keep your knife close to the bone and then you just make really precise little cuts. So there's a joint up here again, because that's where it swivels. So that's where we want to be making our cuts. I got a bit fancy with the first one, so that's 2 drumsticks. And then the last thing we want is our thighs. The little thighs. And we gotta debone them. But essentially there's one bone. And if you cut along the bone and you separate the meat away from it, you should be able to just pull it out. My chicken thigh always gets used in a curry or a slow cook, so I never mind if it looks a little bit rough around the edges. And there's one little bone out. Wrap him up, he looks like he's just come out from the shop. My second thigh. And all you're left with is the chicken bones. So you can put the little bones straight in. And then this stores really well in the freezer. You can keep it for a really long time. This is probably my favorite part of the chicken. Making chicken bone broth is so delicious, so easy, and so quick. You can use it fresh, or you can literally pull it out of your freezer to make your stock. So that's the first thing I'm going to show you, and then I'll show you how I use everything else as well. You'll notice that as it's boiling, there'll be a lot of scum on the top, and all you need to do is use a slotted spoon like this, pull off the scum every now and again and just wash it off, and that'll help to give your soup a nice clear appearance. Okay, so while my chicken stock is cooking away, I'm going to make the next recipe, and this is one of my mum's favorite recipes to make. She used to make this for us as kids all the time, and this is the best lunch meal ever. So we are going to use the chicken drumsticks, put them into a pot with some onion, fry the onion and the chicken drumsticks so that they get a bit of color, a bit of brown on them, and then cover that up with water to slowly poach the chicken. And also because it's got all of those delicious brown fond bits, it's going to create a really nice color and flavor to the chicken drumsticks. The liquid is then liquid gold, because what you need to do is make up some latkes or make up some hash browns, and you take those hash browns and cook them in this liquid. This makes the absolute most delicious lunch ever, and you will not regret it if you try it. I'm going to make my absolute favorite recipe to make with my chicken thighs, and that is butter chicken. I only have 2 of the absolute smallest chicken thighs in the world, so I'm going to make half my recipe. This is the recipe up here. So the first thing I'm going to do is mix up all of the tandoori spices. Cut up my chicken, mix it into those spices with a bit of yogurt to help it to soak in, and the yogurt also helps to start breaking down the chicken. So we are going to try and do a variation on my grandma's recipe. Usually she would use sweet soy sauce and she would use some Cajun spices to help give her chicken some flavor. I don't have those 2 things, so I'm just going to add some cumin, some oregano, a few other different flavors to make it taste good. I do need mayo and I've run out, so I'm going to quickly whip up some homemade mayo. You start at the bottom, you blend up, and that, my friends, is homemade mayo. Thanks. And then that can sit in the fridge, and anytime you need it, you just grab out what you need, breadcrumb it, fry it up, and then there's your lunch or your dinner. I hope you enjoyed all those recipes and seeing how I broke up a chicken. I will leave the link to Gordon Ramsay's video down below because he goes into it really, really well, so I highly recommend it. I hope you have a go at breaking up your own chicken and trying to use every different part of it to cook with next, and let me know down below what recipes you come up with and what I should try, because I'm always looking to learn new things. See you guys next time.